All right, let's get right into it. You've probably heard phrases like mind-body integration thrown around so much they almost lose their meaning. But what happens when ancient practices like Tai Chi and Qigong get a serious scientific look from one of the world's top medical schools? Well, that's what we're here to unpack. We're going beyond the buzzwords to see where that kind of soft language meets some seriously hard data.
And really, it all boils down to this one question, doesn't it? When we hear about these practices, are we just dealing with some really clever marketing, or is there actual, measurable medicine at work? It's a totally fair question, especially for anyone who values real evidence over just anecdotes.
And here it is, the answer that makes this whole topic so fascinating. Harvard Medical School, specifically through its Osher Center for Integrative Health, is throwing its considerable weight behind the medicine side of the argument. This signals a huge shift, taking these practices from the wellness fringe and pulling them right into the scientific mainstream.
So this is the first big idea. This is where those often kind of vague wellness claims are finally getting put to the test with rigorous, hard data.
And to really see how that's happening, we're going to go inside a major academic conference that brings all these different threads together. Okay, first things first, let's get our terms straight. When scientists at this level talk about mind-body integration, they're not talking about some floaty, abstract feeling. No, they mean this, the measurable interaction between what we think and feel and how our bodies physically work. The key word there is measurable. It means it can be tracked, studied, and proven.
And look, this isn't just some hypothetical idea, it's a real event. The conference itself is called The Science of Tai Chi and Qigong as Whole Person Health. And the fact that it's hosted by Harvard's Osher Center, that gives it massive credibility. They're planning this all the way out for 2026 in Boston, which shows you this is a serious long-term commitment.
This quote right here just nails their goal. You notice the mission isn't to talk about energy or flow in some abstract way. No, it's to explore how these practices affect physiological systems. We're talking the nervous system, immune response, brain function. It's all about finding concrete health outcomes for the whole person.
So the conference really breaks this whole challenge down into three distinct but connected paths forward: research, technology, and implementation. Let's start with the first and, you could argue, the most important path, the research. This is the absolute bedrock of the whole effort. It's all about clinical studies and really digging into the physiological mechanics of what's going on.
And these research topics aren't some ivory tower exercises. They're focused on huge public health issues that affect millions of people: chronic pain, bad sleep, the very real risk of falls for older adults, and of course, cognitive function and mood. This is science trying to make a real-world difference.
And here's some of that hard data we were talking about. This isn't just one study. A meta-regression, which is basically a study of other studies, looked at 17 different randomized trials. And what did it find? Consistent improvements in both physical and cognitive function for older adults. That is the kind of solid evidence that makes people sit up and pay attention. Now let's zoom in on a specific example. This table lays out the results from a 12-week virtual program for people with low back pain. And just look at that. Consistent, small to moderate improvements across the board. Disability, pain, quality of life, even sleep. This doesn't just show that it's effective, the fact that it was virtual shows it can be super accessible too. All right, the second path is where things start to feel a little bit like science fiction. It's all about how we can use modern tech to deliver, track, and even improve these ancient mind-body practices.
I mean, just think about the possibilities here for a second. You could have wearables tracking your heart rate variability while you're doing a Qigong session, or virtual platforms that let you join a class from anywhere. You could even have an AI giving you real-time feedback on your posture. This is a massive area of opportunity that could shake up both the wellness world and telehealth.
Okay, so you've got the research, you've got the tech. The third path is maybe the most crucial of all: implementation. How do we actually get these practices out of the lab and into the communities where people can benefit from them?
And this is exactly how it's happening. We're seeing it integrated directly into healthcare systems, from hospitals to local senior centers. Insurance companies are even running pilot programs. But what's really important here is the focus on equity, on making sure these benefits can reach everybody, not just a wealthy few.
So who exactly is driving this whole movement? Well, something this big doesn't happen in a silo. It takes a really diverse group of people all working together.
This chart shows it perfectly. You've got the researchers bringing the data. You have the clinicians and doctors figuring out how to apply it. You've got the Tai Chi and Qigong teachers who are the actual experts in the practice. And then you have the tech entrepreneurs building the tools to help scale it all. It's that combination that makes this whole thing so powerful.
Okay, so let's zoom out and connect the dots. What does all of this actually mean for the future of health and for you?
So here's the bottom line. First, we are entering an age of data-backed wellness, where vague promises are finally being replaced with proven results. Second, this gives us powerful new tools to tackle the big challenges of aging, things like balance, pain, and cognition. And third, technology is making these ancient practices more accessible and effective for everyone, everywhere.
And that leaves us with one final, big question to chew on. As we watch practices like Tai Chi get validated by top-tier science, you just have to wonder, what other ancient wisdom is out there, just waiting for its moment in the scientific spotlight?